In our year-long series, We the People, we're focusing on individuals from our area who had a national significance. Tonight marks 50 years since a Great Lakes freighter known as the Edmund Fitzgerald sank to the bottom of Lake Superior during a massive storm. All 29 crew members were killed. Tonight, we're hearing from a Nauvoo, Illinois native who was on the ship that went looking for survivors the next morning. WGEM's Dylan Smith reports.
50 years later, a bell rings 29 times for each crew member who lost their life aboard the Edmund Fitzgerald. Communities that border the Great Lakes are remembering the great ship.
I can't get it out of my mind. I wish I could.
And so is one man who wasn't far from the wreck. Nauvoo, Illinois native Bob Baxter is back in his hometown this week. 50 years ago, he was a first assistant engineer aboard the LE Block, headed for Duluth, Minnesota. The Fitzgerald was en route to Detroit. Baxter says the storm that night forced the block to anchor, but he heard another ship was still out there. The block's captain confirmed the worst had happened.
The second assistant next to me says, "I know a guy on the Fitzgerald." And the captain almost scoldingly says, "You used to know him." Why did he have to say that? I mean, whew, that just took everybody down.
In the early morning hours of the 11th, Baxter says the LE Block's engine started to warm up, and eventually they'd set out in hopes of finding any survivors, but to no avail. Baxter went on to finish a 50-year career on the water. Every year on November 10th, he thinks about his fellow rivermen who didn't make it home, and he remembers what he did immediately after he heard the news 50 years ago.
I went to my room and I knelt on the deck and said a prayer for them, but I couldn't sleep anymore that night.
Dylan Smith, WGEM News, Nauvoo, Illinois.
And just ahead of the Fitzgerald's 50th anniversary, Superior, Wisconsin dedicated a historical marker to the freighter. That's where the ship departed from on November 9th, 1975.